This week on Supercars Talk, more commentary changes, more engineering changes, and more complaints from me. This week, there's been some changes in Teamland. Brendan Hogan from Tickford Racing, he's going to join Cool Drive as the team manager. He was Will Davison / James Courtney's engineer this year. Firming up things at Team Cool Drive there. Good move, I suppose. Could be a little bit of a sign that maybe Tickford are reduced to the fact that they're only going to be running 3 cars next year, possibly. Big one, this one. Team 18 has signed Richard Holloway. And for those who aren't sure who Krusty is, he was a big part of HRT's success in the late 90s, early 2000s. He then moved across to Gary Rogers Motorsport, and he was a big one behind the development of the Volvo, and he was Scott McLaughlin's engineer with all that success. That is a great pickup for Team 18. I've probably criticised Team 18 a bit in the past, and, you know, Winterbottom's a good pickup, but is the hunger still there that there once was? The engineering lineup, I mean, they've still got Phil Keed and Manuel Sanchez as the race engineers, and then Richard Holloway is going to be up the top overseeing it all. Scott Pye, I think, still got a lot to prove, and he's probably one of the more underrated guys in the field. I don't think we'll ever see him challenging for a championship, but definitely the way this team improved, especially this year, they could really be knocking at the door of those top guys this year, and then you've got some great engineering talent there when they move into Gen 3 as well. The sad fact of the matter is maybe Frosty might be the one who kind of handbrakes the team, and that's not that I don't like Frosty. I just think maybe his best days are behind him at the moment. Erebus have confirmed they are going to have some engineers this year after the mass exodus of the last few weeks. They've confirmed that Tom Moore, who was a data engineer for Dave Reynolds this year, or he was previously, I think, a data engineer for Dave Reynolds, and while Alistair was stuck in Melbourne and the team was travelling around, he was doing the on the ground engineering at Reynolds this year. And George Cummins has moved across from Kelly Racing. I don't think he was engineering anyone this year, but probably now that they've got the Mustang up and running, they've probably got a few people excess to their requirements, and also some new people coming across from Erebus. So at least they have confirmed that they're going to have some engineers, and I have heard that, just checking the dates, possibly before this video is out, that certain Kostecki is going to be confirmed in the second car there. That one, it's only a matter of time before that gets announced, and apparently Erebus wants to get in before the Dave Reynolds / Kelly / Penwright announcement gets made, to save a little bit of face. Now for the big news of the week. Mark Larkham has been axed from the TV crew. I'd shake my head at this one. The Rihanna going thing, apparently they're trying to cut the amount of people in the telecast. That one, and they're bringing in the Charlie, the high five person, so you've got your token female going on, which I don't think we should have just token females. that was a great thing about Rihanna, that she loved the sport. She knew what she was talking about. That one I can't understand. The Larkham one, apparently they're going to try and dumb down the telecast for the casual fans. Larkham was the guy who could explain all these technical things in layman's terms, so the casual fans could understand what was going on, and his pieces were before or after the races and things like that, or you know, they weren't so much in the actual race telecast, where the casual fan probably isn't going to sit there between all the sessions and watch all of that stuff. So if it does get a bit technical, it's probably not turning them away, because they're probably like, oh, the race starts at 2 o'clock, I'll come in and watch the telecast at 2. They're probably not, you know, going to sit there, oh, we've watched qualifying, I'll sit here and watch the support races and all of that kind of... The casual is more just, they want to watch the race. But as you transition from a casual to a diehard, Larkham was the perfect person to explain away all of that, the technical jargon that Scaife just keeps, it just spews out of him with all the, which is, it's fine for someone like me who's been following the sport for 30 odd years now, but for someone who's new, if you've got, Scaife doing just his dribble and all his in-jokes and stuff with Crompton and that. The other thing as well, Crompton's deal apparently isn't signed for next year. Now, if I was in TV land and as being a fan of the sport, my number 1 and 2 signings would have been Crompton and Larko. I would have locked them down, and then Jess Yates. Scaife and Lowndes, we don't need them, and if we have to have Scaife in the commentary box, I think we need an anchor, a bit like a David Croft or a Bill Woods or Lee Diffie, someone like that, who isn't a die-hard person in the sport, who's more of a presenter, to do that, to bring the technical stuff kind of back a bit and to stop that. There's just too much in kind of joking that Scaife does it, and to me it's starting to really grate, and it feels like he's trying to be too matey and things like that. And there was many times this year where Crompton seemed to be a bit like, you could just imagine his face being like, "Shut up, Mark." Yeah, so Larkham's gone. I'll admit, because a lot of the time I'll watch the normal days on like time delay kind of thing, where I'll come in and I'll fast forward. A lot of the time I did fast forward through Larkham's pieces, because if he's explaining fuel strategy or something like that, I understand what it is, and tyre strategies and things like that. I know what's going on there, so I don't have to sit there and watch it every week. Like, that's fair enough. But there were pieces, I remember the one where they, made the sumo wrestlers, and he put the heads of like Scaife and Crompton and that on it, and had Rihanna doing a handstand and was showing like how much weight the downforce of the car and things like that. And that was a great way of actually showing, because you say like, it makes 200 kilos of downforce, and the casual viewer might not understand what that means. And if you say, imagine a sumo wrestler sitting on the bonnet of the car, pushing it down, and then that makes sense. There was just one of those times, it makes it a bit of fun and things like that. I'll never understand that one. As I said, I can kind of understand where they were going with the Rihanna thing. I could kind of understand when they got rid of Ingle, getting rid of Ingle for Lowndes, though. That was a very questionable one. The Larkham, and to an extent, I can understand if, you know, Greg Murphy's contract doesn't get extended. But yeah, so we're kind of in that pit lane thing now. Fingers crossed that Andy Jones is still part of the telecast, or else that whole pit lane, essentially, we're going to have Beretta, who's got no idea. We're going to have High Five, that's got no idea. And not to say they've got no idea, but it was good having, you know, Murphy, Larkham, Crean in the pits there, who, you know, they knew the people in the teams and that they could get in there, they could, you know, ask half technical questions and you'd get half good answers from the teams a lot of the time. I could go on all day about how disappointed I am with this decision. I see comments on Bookface and things like that with people saying, I'm not going to watch it anymore because, like, well, I'm still going to watch it, but it's going to take a little bit away from the telecast. So, unfortunately, again, this week, we've had to end on a sad note, but yeah, it's 2020, you know, we've had a few kicks in the guts this year, haven't we? So, until next time, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.